So let's get started with Cordova. For Cordova, the prerequisite is that you need Node.js and npm installed. Lots of version of Node.js. I suggest use the most recent LTS version. LTS is long-term support. If you're developing an Android app, you need the JDK, which is the Java Development Kit, which can be downloaded from Oracle. Gradle, which is like the build manager, and the Android SDK. You don't need an Android phone as such. You can use the Android emulator, but the Android emulator is quite slow, so I always prefer using the actual physical device. iPhone's emulator is much better, but a lot of the features of the like stuff like say push notifications and the camera, you can't test on an iPhone emulator. And then certain features of iOS, like push notification support, there's a package called PushKit, will only be available with a paid developer account. So that's $99 per year. Once you install Node and npm, installing Cordova is just one command, which is npm install Cordova. Then you create an application, Cordova application with this command. So Cordova create the name of the application package name, and then the name of the application, and then you can add a add a platform. So Cordova supposed to have 5 platforms that I spoke about in the previous slides. So you just Cordova platform add, and then the platform name. So in this case, Android. You can build the app to run it on the native device. In Android, it will generate an APK file, and on iOS, a folder, and then you run it. Then you run Xcode to actually run the device, run the application on your device. So now let's talk about Ionic. Ionic is a open source mobile UI toolkit. It has integrations with Angular, React, and Vue, and it has an awesome CLI. Why do we need to use Ionic when Cordova is already there? So Cordova will create a very skeletal. So it'll just create the basic folders, and then it gives you like a platform to kind of build out your hybrid application. But Ionic provides a lot of the UI as well. So in Cordova, you just use normal HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. So any composition that you build, you'll have to either build yourself or you'll have to import from things like Bootstrap, etc. But Ionic already comes with like all of these components, and a lot of these components are also tuned to look like native components on the respective platform. Then scaffolding. Cordova will give you a very basic scaffolding where you just get a place where you dump in your JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. Ionic, it's much more detailed. So you have a thing called components. Components are nothing but a collection of logically related HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. So like a button. A button can be a component. So the button HTML is there, and then you have the CSS of the button, and then you also have the JavaScript of the button. So like what happens when the button is clicked, what happens when something hovers over the button. You can have different callbacks to what happens when something happens to the button. All of that can be included in one folder. So you can create it. You can create pages, you can create components, you can create something. Then Ionic has theming. So as I showed in the demo, you can flip a switch from light mode to dark mode. With Ionic, you can set all your themes, all your variables, your CSS variables in one file. For different situations, you can have different CSS. So if suppose the user enables dark mode, use this CSS rather than that CSS. Suppose the platform is Android, use this CSS. Suppose the platform is iOS, use that CSS, etc. Next is routing. So with Cordova, you just get HTML, JavaScript, CSS. You don't get routes as such. You get a single page, and then you have to do all your stuff inside that single page. Whereas in Ionic, you get routes. So you can have like a login route. You can have a detailed route. You can have authenticated routes. You can have stuff like that. And each route can also be lazy loaded in the sense that they will be added into memory and executed only when it's going to be activated. Next, Ionic also maintains its own set of native plugins. A lot of these plugins are Cordova plugins that have been pre-existing, and then they also have enterprise plugins. You'll have to pay for enterprise plugins there with the enterprise plans, and then they also have a few plugins which are community and open source plugins.